God, why now? Text me about Blackout, damn it. Jake is just like, hey man, you gonna be there all day? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. He's like, if it's at my house when I get back, I'm gonna start installing it.
I deleted Blackout last night because of the trial. I mean, I'll have to reinstall it anyway because now I have a disc and it's not a full install. Mm-hmm. But like, the Blood Oath is working. Yes.
I couldn't tell you why, but my dumbass peanut brain just was expecting Night of the Wind to start playing through my earbud right there.
We were. For the people who don't know, the free week trial for the Blackout mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was this last week, and on one evening, I got on Joey and some of his friends, my friends too. I only refer to them as his friends because he knows them significantly better than I do. I'm friends with them too. We got on and we played some Blackout, and we discovered it was $30 on Amazon, and I said, let's all go in, all of us.
And I was like, hold the phone. Because I've had too many instances where friends are like, yeah, all right, everybody, we're going to get this game and we're going to play it. And then I get it and nobody else does. This has happened multiple times. And also, I don't really want Blackout. But I was like, all right, I'll concede. If all of you get it and show me proof, I will go out and buy it because I knew it wasn't going to happen.
And it's happening. The Blood Oath is working.
Why for this? Why for Call of Duty?
I haven't owned a Call of Duty in actually 10 years now since I bought a Call of Duty.
And now it means when I'm on PlayStation, it's just going to be Call of Duty time again. I have a friend who is just playing through Bloodborne right now, and I could be playing that with them. But they own Blops, so they're going to be doing that instead. I've been wanting to make a new character in Bloodborne because I'm crazy, and platinuming the game 5 times isn't enough, I guess.
How about this, Joey? How about this, okay? I will reinstall Bloodborne and I'll play Bloodborne with you.
Yeah, all right. We'll see how that works.
If you're that upset about it, I'll give you an excuse to do something else. If you're that mad, I'll do it. So the reason we just loaded up a random save file like way down in the middle of nowhere in terms of the save file listing. Oh crap, what am I even doing? I shouldn't be doing this. Crap, we shouldn't be. No, I just realized I shouldn't be doing this as Riku first. I screwed up. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
It's fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
What is wrong with the world, and why is it full of the gas?
Lots of gas. I need to... Where's the thing? Main menu. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Oh.
No, I just needed to load up...
sleep.
Yeah, I needed to load up this save file because previously when I made my... as we discussed last time, all the saves coming that I was doing.
Yep.
Basically, the save files that I had were right before the final boss fights on the grid, and then there wasn't another save file again until right before the final boss fights on this next world, Prankster's Paradise. Which meant when you came over to that, I would have either had to A, refight those bosses, or B, I had to make another save file. Wow. So last time when you left last time, I just made a new save file to start up from there.
All right.
Anyway, it's just gonna be better if we do. I'll be able to talk about an actually clever and appreciated thing that I like about the game if we do Sora first.
Okay, cool.
As a change of pace.
There's still gas, but it's purple and not green this time.
I think those are fireworks, Joey. And clouds.
No, I'm talking about in the world. Well, I guess, but it looked like green fart gas last time.
Oh, last time it was green fart gas.
Okay, so it's no longer that.
No, it's a little bit different. You may have noticed that the styles of the drops that each character do, they look a little bit different. They have different aesthetics. Even though they'll both be themed around the world, they'll be around different things. Like on the Tron one, one of them was like dropping onto the cityscape, and one of them was dropping onto, I forget what it looked like, but it wasn't the cityscape. It was something different. One of them was dropping onto like the location from the finale where the jet scene happens, right?
Right.
Where there are like all of those flying rocks with the beams of light in them. One of them fell onto that location, and the other one fell onto like the main city location.
Oh, you actually have to destroy a certain amount of balloons.
Yeah, and I should be using this ability that I have. This laser spin ability. I completely wasn't paying attention. You go through the little like glowing things that I was flying through. They give you perks and abilities like this. So.
Okay. You almost got this.
Almost done. If I'd been using this earlier, I probably would already have it, but whatever. It's fine.
Who needs it? It's fine. Look
at that. Now we go. Now we just go fast.
The ring opened, just like in Star Fox Adventures, where you gotta collect enough of the rings to open up the portal or whatever garbage that game had.
It's true, we did it. We finished it, we dropped, we got an A rank, and it gave us another balloon right here!
Oh man, I I have an embarrassing memory about Star Fox Adventures.
I'm sure you have several of those, but what's your embarrassing memory about Star Fox Adventures?
I remember this was little tiny Joey was like, "Man, this LPing craze sure is neat. Maybe I could do one of those." So I was like, I'm just gonna shoot the shit, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna record myself, but I'm gonna be like commentating to nobody as I play this Star Fox game.
I didn't realize that there was a backstory before an origin story for our channel.
Yeah, I just remembered that. And I did it out loud. I'm sure my family thought I was nuts.
Imagine Mr. Geppetto's wooden puppet brought to life by the Blue Fairy. She made his wish for a son come true because he's given so much happiness to others. Now,
so why are you here?
Thanks for recapping the plot of Pinocchio to the no one that you're talking to. We will address why he's here in just a moment, actually.
Okay.
This is like, you know how I've talked several times about my difficulty and like, am I supposed to talk about this yet? Does the game explain this later, or am I remembering interviews and like, because you know, all of this, no, you know what I mean? Like all of this knowledge is in my brain, so I forget.
Yeah,
like,
no, it all blends together for you.
I forget what I have to wait to see happen. You know what I mean? Anyway. But here we are in on Paradise Island from the original film Pinocchio.
You mean you've heard of me? Well, I'll be. The name Jiminy Cricket's already spread far and wide.
Really? You feeling all right? It's me, Sora.
Sora, you say? Gosh, I don't think I recognize you, but the name does have a familiar ring.
Oh yeah.
Sora, big dumbass, doesn't remember crucial exposition about the mission that he's on.
In the sleeping worlds, real time does not flow.
Oh, so it's like the Souls universe. Time is convoluted.
From its slumber, it will stay locked in a dream forever. Thus, you may encounter familiar faces, but they are just figments of the dream.
I love how he's like
Bloodborne.
I love how he's like, you may encounter familiar faces on worlds that were destroyed during Kingdom Hearts 1, and also there are like millions of them, but there's only 7 of these, so the odds of you actually bumping into anybody that you know are astronomical.
Well, maybe he's like, you know, the possibilities are there, so I may as well tell him.
Dreams may paint a fuller picture and restore what seems to be missing.
I'm pretty sure you had told me that Yen Sid was Disney backwards, but I've completely forgotten, and I saw that in the comments, and it made me mad again.
I mean, that's been a thing since the 40s. So.
I know, but it made me mad just because it's
It
irrational.
is
But I was like, ugh. Well, it was what a comment is like Ericus is square backwards, and I was like, oh, so that put a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, they did cheat with the Ericus thing where they maintained the U after Q rule, so it's not perfectly backwards, but
Right.
makes sense.
But where was I? Oh yes, this is a terrible place. Boys here are allowed to wreck things and loaf around and make jackamules of themselves. Poor lost Pinocchio. He wandered in here on my watch. That's right. That's where I must have heard your name, Sora, from my friend Pinocchio.
He knows me? But how?
Oh, I forgot about this bit that he's about to say here that doesn't make sense, but that's fine. I guess whatever, it makes sense if you want to say it does.
Playing hooky and goofing off in a place like this?
I'm sorry, Jiminy.
Does
I
he
was
look
going
like he's
to school
goofing off?
till I met somebody. Yeah, 2 big monsters with big green eyes.
Oh, you don't say. And then what happened?
They tied me in a big sack. Oh,
Sounds like you were horsing around.
but I snuck off when they weren't looking. My nose! What's happened?
There. You see where those tall tales will get you?
But it's all true. Even the fella in the black clothes who said to play a trick on Sora.
What? Now who was he? I've had just about enough of your fibbing. Hold on. I guess that part was true. Tell me, Pinocchio, did that man in black say anything else to you?
He sure didn't.
Well, good.
Hey, look at that.
That star again. The Blue Fairy.
Oh no. Oh, okay. There's actually a model there.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Hey, it's that track from Birth by Sleep that I like
What has
again.
happened to your nose?
Oh,
Perhaps you haven't been telling the truth, Pinocchio.
You know, this is a really minor, like, personal thing. I think I may have mentioned it before, and this would not bother anybody else. And I bet it might bother people who played these games in HD even less. But one thing that I liked about Birth by Sleep that really made it feel distinct from the other games with these other characters was how different the soundtrack was. A really heavy reliance on violin, as we're hearing right now.
Yeah.
A lot of strings, a much fuller sound in general than the previous games had. But that was because it actually some of its pieces were more orchestral. Everything else before that was PS2 soundboard, right? Was limited. When a lot of those tracks and tracks like those started showing up in this game, it felt really weird because this was a Sora and Riku adventure, and those games had a particular sound to them, and the Birth by Sleep sound was different. So it's kind of distracting me when I first played it. I imagine that doesn't matter to anybody who's played the games in HD because, like, you've heard the reorchestrated music anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's more just a weird thing that I felt that doesn't matter so much.
Really? I'd be grateful. But how in the world do you know Pinocchio?
Oh,
The idea of him playing a trick on Sora because the black man in the black cloak asked him to is real weird, and it doesn't happen, I don't think.
Oh, well.
It's like the bit where Nick was like, oh, the guy in the black cloak told me to bring it to him. It's like, but the guy in the black cloak didn't do anything, and as far as I can tell by the end of the game, didn't have any plans for him in the short term either, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. So this is...
oh, boy, I forgot about your spectrobes.
So this is a weird world because everything from the music to like the name, I don't know. Like so, this place is called This is Pleasure Island. I think I called it Paradise Island. That was my mistake earlier. It's Pleasure Island, or no, it's Sweet, huh?
It is Paradise Island.
Is it Paradise Island in the movie too? I don't know if that's right, but whatever. I thought it was Pleasure Island. Anyway, for those who don't recall, the whole point of this setting in the original Pinocchio movie was basically, because the entirety of Pinocchio is a morality tale, and in Pinocchio, basically all the boys who are brought here, it's like, hey, you can break all the rules here because there are no rules. You can break things, you can smoke, you can drink, you can do all kinds of stuff that that your parents wouldn't allow and school wouldn't allow you to do. Isn't this place great? And the idea was that as all these kids were making, quotation marks, jackasses out of themselves, as they were there longer, they were literally cursed and they turned into donkeys that were then sold into just like mules. They were just they were all loaded up into boats and sold. And it's super dark because all of the other kids who are here that happens to, and Pinocchio barely escapes, and none of the other kids get helped.
But it also, it's a morality tale, but I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you know, I feel like you could probably make more money out of, like, children slaves than donkeys, but alright, whatever.
It's more that it's just, like, incredibly... The sequence where you see a kid turn into a donkey on screen is, like, legitimately horrifying.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm familiar.
Oh, you're familiar with this one?
Barely.
I don't actually have to recap this one for you? You remember it a little
visually,
bit?
I remember that part, but, like everything else, it's fuzzy.
My issue is more so that, like... Listen to the music and the, hey, look! Jump on the roller coaster and ride around. Isn't this fun? No! This place is a slave trading trap. I don't know, whatever. It's a little bit weird.
There you are.
This just the music doesn't fit with the truth of this place, and the game doesn't address the truth of this place because, like, we're introduced to it with, oh no, he's gonna turn into a donkey. We gotta help him. Which is never actually really a problem. We're gonna go find Pinocchio, he's gonna be fine, and we're gonna get out of here, but whatever. It's not the situation with Tron Legacy where they're like literally just, hey look, here's this scene from the movie and Riku's photoshopped in, and also we messed up that we just didn't shoot it right and the music is gone. Or the scenes from Notre Dame where it's like, hey look, it's the scene and we wrote the script exactly the same, even though half the scenes in that movie are just completely defined by these massive crowds and there's 3 people here, if that.
Man, all these balloon attacks look so stupid.
They sure do.
No, I'm not judging the game on that merit. I'm just saying these attacks, it's like... I guess it is appropriate with how bubbly this game is, but still, it's like...
Well, so when I played the demo for this game on 3DS that I downloaded, and I saw that move, I was like, That's kind of stupid looking, but I guess that's playing into the whole like 10th anniversary. It's like a party thing. It's
Yeah.
big, bright, and colorful, and whatever.
It turns out it's one of the best.
Turns out it's super the best.
Jestabaki?
Just a blue. It was those little jester dream eaters that we just fought.
Pinocchio. So then where's the real Pinocchio?
That's actually introducing a gameplay gimmick with those things where those enemies will pretend to be money or health drops,
Come on, Jiminy.
which doesn't do anything because you can't like it's not like oh you go pick them up and hurt yourself. They just
It's
do
an
it and
encounter.
you notice oh I didn't pick that one up, so it's clearly an enemy.
You mean like in the encounter they transform?
Yes, in
them
the
into-
encounter,
oh,
yeah.
Well, then,
They also turn into chests. That's the one thing is that they're this game's mimics.
Okay.
Gee, Pinocchio, how'd you manage to get up here?
Come on, let's go home.
Howard,
Oh,
you
no.
think at least Jiminy Cricket would notice that he's a fighting game palette swap,
Yes.
right? You know, no, Sora would too. He knows Pinocchio.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this was actually a concept that's kind of horrifying and that I was interested by when Jens had started talking about the mechanics of the dream worlds that I didn't talk about before because I was trying to remember when they introduced it.
Yeah.
Which is, so we already know that this world was destroyed from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yes.
Because Pinocchio is on Traverse Town, Jiminy Cricket is on, in the very beginning of the game, he's like, hey, my world was blown up, and I just kind of wound up on Disney Town by coincidence.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of that? And then Monstro, just being a big, super strong entity, was just like flying around in space,
In
right?
actual space.
And we can assume that Geppetto was already inside of the Monstro when the world got blown up, essentially, right? And he just that's how he survived, just because he was inside of Monstro when the world got blown up. So here we are in their world, which was blown up before Kingdom Hearts 1 even started.
That room is a good demonstration of the potential of the movement tech to just get away.
Well, also check this out. Look at this platforming section.
Oh no.
Oh wow, whoopee! Whoopee! Yeah, woohoo! Oh man, look at me, it's like I'm trapeze, yeah. Oh yeah, boy, a chest, I got to the chest. Oh no, I fell off!
Oh no.
Oh,
How
God.
ever will you get back up there? I just meant for a more, like, that whole,
No.
it was a much more practical use of this game's actual mechanics, not the intended ones.
Of get away, bounce off the walls. Yeah, no, these little narrow hallways here on this world are a good demonstration. It was Sora, open the chest. Hi there.
Spooky. It watches you as you move.
Anyway, but what I was going to say is that something that's kind of interesting that's introduced by this world is like, okay, so he's basically saying, so obviously Jiminy and Geppetto and Pinocchio and Monstro are not here, despite it being blown up, because like they were out in the real world. So basically the dreamscape is accounting for things that are missing and injecting them back in, right? Like it's essentially running a simulation of the world, and so these people are just kind of a part of the dreamscape. Presumably people like Esmeralda and Quasimodo and like Tron and all of them, like they are actually trapped in that world. But the other thing that's really more interesting to me is when he starts talking about how time flows, right?
I got it covered.
And you look at most of these stories, and because they're all leading up to the third act climax of a movie, and they all kind of conclude with some manner of cataclysmic event, right? Paris on fire, the grid blowing up. Not all of them. I guess there's a couple of things we could talk about. Those are the main ones, right? So in my head, the way I always thought about this, at least as I was initially playing it, and I was not quite as horribly on it, and I was not.
I'm sorry, I was not expecting a big evil red glow on this big, like, panda bear.
The something that I was thinking about as I was playing this before all my goodwill had been completely destroyed was that's kind of a horrifying concept. Yensid is basically saying that the dream worlds down here in this state are in perpetuity, just over and over again. The people who are trapped there are reliving the events that led up to their world's destruction.
Yeah, no, it's just this form of purgatory for these.
Yeah, and basically by us showing up here, we are interrupting that cycle and like concluding their stories and then bringing them back to the real world. Though that does raise the question of, if we've unlocked the sleeping, like the keyholes that are supposed to bring them back to reality, why can't I go back to the grid and go back to Paris? And once I finish with this place, why can't I come back here? Shouldn't it be back in reality?
Well, maybe the next one.
Confusing. Whatever.
I'd be
It's a
willing-
gameplay conceit.
I was gonna say I'd be willing to chalk that down to video game.
Yeah, it's fine. So I had a bit of an existential crisis last night.
Oh, are we getting into that?
We shouldn't talk about that whole thing right now, but just generally how we've been covering these games and talking about things. I think you know me and other people know me and they know what my attitudes are on certain things. but I realize that people who watch this on YouTube don't necessarily understand what I actually care about and what I actually don't. What I just said about how can you go back to these places if they're back in the real world because we've got the sleeping keyholes. That was not my way of going. This game sucks.
This game sucks.
It's just like these are just things that
Subscribe for more gamer rants.
They're just things that are interesting to me to talk about. It literally couldn't matter less in terms of my enjoyment of the game. It has nothing to do with me liking this game or not. It's just a thing that I find interesting.
You again?
Oh no. Oh no.
Xemnas? This isn't possible.
So he just said, Xemnas, this is impossible, even though he just saw him on the grid. So there's a problem with this game that people realized afterwards. The battle orders on each of the worlds are in the opposite of chronological order. You're supposed to play the harder levels first, then down to the easier levels.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Okay, yeah, and it doesn't account for what you've seen already?
No, it doesn't.
All right.
Anyway, regardless, so imagine this is also kind of relevant. Imagine this is the first time Xemnas has just appeared. Xemnas, this is impossible. You're dead. You shouldn't be here.
My. A hollow puppet that's managed to grow a heart. Just imagine that.
Pinocchio isn't anything like you nobodies. But if Pinocchio could be given one, shouldn't you be able to have a heart inside you too?
Wait.
Maybe.
What?
I mean, he's aware of the situation now, isn't he?
What situation?
That he's come back with.
Well,
or
no, because remember
did
him
Jensen
being
not tell him?
No, he did. Let's assume that he told him off screen the coded information, right?
Yeah.
Remember that him being dead and Billy Zane being dead is going to cause Master Xehanort to come back.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. My bad.
Dreamscape, perhaps. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I know, but that's what Sora would respond to it, I guess.
That you yourself are not so very different.
You and I are not so different.
But why?
Because he has other hearts inside of him.
Anything like a nobody.
He's so cruel for
doesn't make any
keeping
sense.
Roxas and Ven and Xion trapped inside of himself, don't you know?
Oh, I gotta pull the notes out. Hang on.
We'll read these right now. Nobodies and Organization 13. You go ahead and pull out the notes anyway, but I'll open those up right now so we don't forget, so we have no problems.
Oh, I deleted my other notes of it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
If a strong-hearted person loses or is robbed of that heart, their body and spirit can live on as a nobody. Nobodies have no hearts, but they retain their human memories, which serve as a reservoir from which to draw human emotion. You remember that whole thing I kept talking about during Kingdom Hearts 2 of how after I played Chain of Memories and went into Kingdom Hearts 2, I was like, oh, well, this makes sense. That's why these characters are this way.
Yeah.
It's right there. I mean, it took until Dream Drop Distance for a glossary entry to confirm the thing that I'd been saying for ages, but
But there it is.
No, it's specifically just because, for reasons we'll get into later, I can't talk about them right now, people in comment sections have come at me of your interpretation doesn't make any sense, that's ridiculous because of X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, but no, it's literally right there in the in-game Wikipedia entries. Anyway, unlike Heartless, nobodies are hierarchical and choose to be subject to the organization's leadership. When the strongest of heart become nobodies, they retain human form even after their heart is gone. Ansem the Wise had 6 apprentices, the best of whom called himself Xehanort. The real Ansem abandoned his studies of the heart, but Xehanort could not let it stop there. He and the other apprentices betrayed Ansem and cast their hearts away to continue their master's research. Xehanort's nobody took a new name, Xemnas, and formed an organization with the other apprentices' nobodies. Once their numbers grew, they became known as Organization 13, though at one time they had a 14th member. Organization 13's goal was to complete Kingdom Hearts from the hearts of people by defeating Heartless and collecting the hearts they had captured. Sora thwarted their plan, however, destroying the organization members and setting the multitude of captive hearts free. So, a couple things really quickly. First of all, trampoline show, whoopee! There were some posters like that around in the main area too. I think I commented about this while we were on Traverse Town about if we're inside the dream world and the Dream Eater's just kind of a thing that monsters that exist there, and they're not really how can there be posters for shows and and a coliseum themed around them and a store with the logo on them, but whatever, who cares? Again, these are, once again, things that I do not care about, just things that tickle my brain, that's all. Anyway, actually, I'll stop right here for a second. Let's check out this little show, and how that pole just goes straight through the other pole. Stop that, you.
They tried. There's nothing holding that in place except for magic.
No, and it's also a 3DS game, so who cares?
Yeah.
I'm like, I shouldn't be complaining about, hey, look at these cool little attention to detail touches they put in there that they totally didn't have to do, but they did anyway. Oh, but they suck because it doesn't make sense. Like, that's not, again, it doesn't matter. It's things that are just funny to me, that's all.
Have you figured out what the red enemies are yet?
I haven't looked into it. Some of them are like a berserk state, and other ones just flash red when you hurt them, but other ones don't. I don't know. Anyway, thing I was going to say was that, there's going to be a cutscene, but I don't care about it. The thing about that cutscene with Xemnas that bothers me a bit more is like, so Xemnas appears. Xemnas, what are you doing here? A puppet that grew a heart. How strange. And Sora, who is staring down a major villain who he killed, his response is, well, couldn't you guys have hearts?
What?
That's the first thing you have to say to this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that I have
That's what the first thing that this Sora does. This our dumbass Sora of this game.
and he was swallowed by a whale.
I know I pointed out that he's a dumbass, but like, you see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like this.
Yes.
I guess my feelings are less of dumbass and more of extremely annoying,
Bottom of the sea.
but still.
But it's hard to pin down where annoyingness comes from sometimes necessarily.
Yeah.
Save him.
That's what I'm trying to do here.
And also, he's like, you know, like you couldn't have a heart too or whatever. That was the point of 2, was it?
Yeah, was that they were trying to get hearts.
What was that?
You're telling...
You skipped it.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Crap.
Oh,
Couldn't
no.
you guys have all had hearts too? Yes, that was the whole point of Kingdom Hearts 2. You literally weren't paying attention, were you?
This monstro? I've heard of him, Pinocchio. He's a whale of a whale. Why, he swallows whole ships alive. And besides, it's dangerous. Why,
Whale is what you call somebody that spends a lot of money on mobile games.
Well, on any phone
game,
game or
yeah.
microtransaction games, they're referred to as whales because those are the real targets of those products. 99% of players are not where we get 99% of our revenue from.
Yeah.
Though, like I saw point out right here, is like check. I don't think these are even in the right order. So yeah, Frollo, Cautions Quasimodo, Dark Obsession. These are the things from Hunchback of Notre Dame world, right?
Yeah.
Now Pinocchio stuff. Now Tron stuff.
Huh.
Right? So maybe it's not even the order of the I forget. I just remember that people figured out that the order was wrong. That's the main thing.
I mean, you can pick what order you do. It's just it's going to be more difficult.
Well,
right?
It's gonna be more difficult, and more of my concern is what is a first-time player probably going to do? They're probably gonna go, oh well, the with the lower battle level is where I go first, obviously. Hello.
Oh ho!
It's time for
Howdy,
a rematch.
friendo.
I won't be able to kill him here, but that's fine. Or I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are damage thresholds where it stops you no matter how big and strong you are.
Well, let's see. You become big and strong. I mean, you got him down to like less than half last time. So you have a new balloon ability from the last time.
I know it was Balloonga. You saw it before. It's the big one.
No, but there's one that it was like the balloons like spread out and were seeking.
Well, Balloonga does this. A big one comes out, and after it pops.
Oh, then they do that.
But
okay.
they have much looser seeking than Balloon Ra, which is why while Balloonga comes out faster, which means it's good for staggering enemies who are up in your face, and then it has a couple more hits on it. The Balloon Ra is just better damage output overall because its seeking is a lot better.
Okay. You might get him this time.
We'll see.
How many locations is he supposed to spawn in?
There's one more location after this that he's supposed to spawn
Oh, well,
in.
if that's the case, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong about the damage thresholds. I mean, we're right about there. I mean, I'm going for it. No, we did it. We did it. There you go. Not supposed to have, when we load a save file, we're not going to have that HP boost, but whatever.
Oh, well.
Riku, in fact, we'll fight him again later as Riku. Just use your imagination, folks.
So is that the recipe to get him?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I need to go this way. So this isn't. See, we were talking about production techniques on things. We were in Birth by Sleep. We were talking about smearing. This is a good shot. That movie looks good. That ocean looks good. It's reflective. It's nice. In Pinocchio, there's a lengthy segment where they go
just straight up into water.
Yeah, there's no mermaid shenanigans this time around, because in Pinocchio, when he's like, oh, we gotta go rescue my dad from Monstro, since he's a puppet, he literally just ties a rock to his tail and goes to the bottom of the ocean and just starts walking around.
Yeah.
And that entire sequence has this visual filter over it. It's supposed to make it look like it's underwater. They're using both the multiplane camera effects that were used pretty extensively in Pinocchio, and quotation marks smearing Vaseline over the screen, as we talked about during Birth by Sleep. But like these waves that are going over the rocks here and kind of and contouring around all these different surfaces. If you watch the movie, this type of stuff was basically just going over the rest of the picture in Pinocchio.
Okay.
So it's not a visual filter for us; it's just an environmental filter.
I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah, but exactly. It is very, very similar to the effect from the movie.
Yeah, it looks good here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very similar to the effect that they put on the movie. That just kind of goes over and distorts the entire base level of the animation. Things that I appreciate: attention to detail. That is there fairly frequently in these games. I guess just give me the magic boost. Slightly more. I don't think I'll even have to fight anybody. I'll try and blast past the random encounters. But if I have to fight anybody, my balloons will just kill people faster as Riku.
Yep.
Did I hit the wrong thing? Visit this world, right? Okay. Whatever. Eventually, I'll pay attention.
All right, back to the fart, guys.
Here we go.